the movers and shakers of South Sudan and the world over. We engage in debates and discussions that unearth the stories behind the news. And we have our light moments too by chit-chatting about issues that affect our day-to-day life. We stay right here on the Sundown. Join in and be part of the show on iRadio, your eye on South Sudan.
Good evening once again. Now at 6 minutes after 5 p.m. and you are all listening to the Sundown program on iRadio, your eye on South Sudan, and this is of course 100% South Sudanese. My name is Moyo Jacob Felix. Like I stated earlier, we now have the Minister of Labour in the presence of Honorable James Rothmai, who is joining us this evening on the Sundown program to discuss with us actually a wide range of issues, and he will be talking to us about their role as the Ministry of Labour. To really clarify as well to us on how their work is actually different from that of the Ministry of Public Service and Human Resource Development. Secondly, Honorable James Rothmai will be providing to us explanations on the recent cases of the sexual harassment at workplaces. And then he will also be able to clarify and let us understand on how far the ministry has reached as in resolving the grievances of the staff of the WC site who actually raised their concerns earlier following their termination. And here now and avail my guest, Honorable James Rothmai, the Minister of Labour, to the Sundown program right this moment. Honorable, you are most welcome to the Sundown.
Thank you very much, Moya Jacob Felix, and I'm happy that I'm invited to come and have a conversation with you and also with listeners. Thank you.
How is your ministry doing?
Well, Ministry of Labour was established in 2020 after the revitalized peace agreement when the two ministries were divided into two, Labour and Public Service and Human Resource Development. And we have a group or our core functions in the ministry. There are so many, but we, as a Minister of Labour, one of our core functions is safeguard and protect the interests of employer and employees, and we regulate their work. The second one is inspect term and condition of employment to ensure compliance with the relevant labor laws and regulations. Also, we regulate employment and terminations. Also, we regulate freedom of aliens, and they are also recruitment. And also we have oversight on arrangement of reconciliation and readdress disputes. So whenever there are disputes in the labor,
that is your role?
Yes, this is our role, and our role we are actually acting as mediators. So we call the two sides who are having a problem
to mediate.
Yeah, to mediate, and we talk with them and reach to a conclusion. But we believe in amicable solutions, and we don't encourage people to go to court, and that's why sometimes it takes us time.
Court is also legal.
No, but we don't want to go to court, and we think that we have what we call bargaining. So we have to bargain, we have to discuss, and we have to reach to an amicable
common solution.
Yes.
All right.
So, and of course, we formulate regulation and supervision of formation of a workers' trade union. We supervise, and among others, we have so many of them, about 40 core functions.
Okay, very good. Let us also get to hear, this could be good for public consumption. You know, the Ministry of Labour, also Ministry of Public Service and Human Resource Development. How different are you? Maybe you share from your own perspective as Labour.
Yes, as I said before, that the two ministries were one until 2020 when the revitalized peace agreement was signed, and the two ministries were divided. Labour is purely for private sector. So the two ministries actually it is two sides of the same coin. Labor is dealing with private sector, including the iRadio. And then public service, my friend Honorable Joseph Bangasu Bakasoro is dealing with public service and responsible for recruitment, training,
for the government only.
Yes, for motion, pensions. This is for the government. While labor is dealing with, especially when you retired from here, then you will come to us to come and ask your pension, your terminal benefits. You will come and ask from the labor.
Thank you.
And also we regulate we provide the calendar of all the holidays in the country.
So is it not the public service that provides the calendars?
No, it is the labor.
But you did say public service deals with public issues.
Yes, because now of the work, and this is a part of the core function of the labor, dealing with the work.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable. Let us get to some specifics right this moment. And to all those who are actually getting us on this very line of conversation on the Sundown program on iRadio via our radios, and all those who are actually streaming us live through our Facebook page, I want to say you are most welcome. We are hosting the Minister of Labor in the presence of Honorable James Hothmai, and he is here to make some clarifications on very crucial issues that have actually happened so far in the country, particularly in Juba. Honorable, last month an employee of the Juba-based Kenyan Commercial Bank resigned after allegedly encountering sexual harassment. The name is actually Behija Beatrice. She's a former information technology manager working for KCB by then, and she said she tendered her resignation on the 25th of May 2022, a decision the bank's human resource office was actually quick to accept. And then in her resignation letter that was seen also by iRadio, Beatrice said she had endured several mistreatments over the years in the hands of the bank's managing director, whose name we are not mentioning here. And according to her, after several harassments and intimidations, she relocated to the bank's Konyo branch as a teller. And then thereafter, she said that she was not also given her salaries, and since she resigned, they have not paid her arrears. And this was actually what she has to say. She spoke to iRadio earlier. Then thereafter, we can have some questions to you after we have actually had a short clip of her speaking about her concerns here.
The MD is somebody who is so bully and so harassing, and he's somebody who is like after ladies. He attempted me. He tried it in 2018. That was the first attempt that he started. By then, he was a branch manager in Buluk branch. So I'd gone there to do something because I am somebody who is from IT department. I went there to do something. He started with his advances towards me, giving me weird compliments and all that. It happened severally, to an extent that I had to warn him. I told him, let this be the last and the first time. If you are to call me when there is a genuine issue. To an extent, he has been frustrating my life and everything, threatening me, harassing me at every single opportunity he gets. So I reached a point whereby I couldn't tolerate it anymore. I had to bring it to the attention of the bank management. That was the group. It was this year. I resigned, and I stated even my reason of resignation. The unwarranted sexual harassment that the MD is putting me through, and I gave my reason as to why I'm resigning. It was not a willingly resignation, but it was a forceful resignation due to the situation that I was put through. They have not yet paid me. I have not checked my account. I did not open the police case, but there is one of the honorable that we shared the issue with who is handling the case. My husband was with an opinion that let me first see if my benefits are all paid or not. In case some are missing out, that is when now we are going to open a case.
Well, that was Beatrice, who actually tendered her resignation letter after she received sexual harassment from her boss at the Kenyan Commercial Bank. And so we could not have access to the managing director of the bank, who is actually in question. And that's why we're actually having you here as the Minister of Labor. And number one, I need to find out, Honorable, are you aware of all these malpractices at workplace?
Thank you very much, Moya, and this is unfortunate that things had happened to our employers. The law provided for that. If you notice any sexual harassment or any harassment of that kind, you have to report it. Up to today, there is no such case on my desk. We heard it through Rai Radio, but it is a crime. That is, law is provided for a very severe punishment. And if the case is with us, and then, of course, we have to be investigated. And it's fine, correct. And then, of course, there's penalties for the person who did that. And, of course, he's right. He has terminal benefit, and the law provided for it. And is her right, whether he resign or willingly or through harassment, these are her rights, and they have to pay her. But I have not seen that case on my table.
Yeah, but of the issues to do with sexual harassment at workplaces, have you been experiencing this in your ministry?
No, nothing at all. There's nothing. And that's why we are encouraging actually our employees, if you notice anything like that, you need to report it. And the law is very clear on that.
What does the law actually say about the boss or the employer who actually sexually harass his or her employee? So what does the law provide about this?
Punishment. And the law of the Republic of South Sudan have a provision on that. And should we found that person mistaken, and then the law will take its course. And we have actually certain law that provide for punishment of that kind. So there is no compromise, whether you are a foreigner or you are a South Sudanese, and then the law will take its course.
And in this case, how is your ministry, the Ministry of Labor, working very hard to ensure that much as they have not been reported to your ministry, but like you said, you did hear about them already. So what is your ministry actually doing to shun these malpractices at workplaces?
We are just telling our people that if you notice anything like that kind, please you report it immediately with proof evidence, and we will take care of that. This is what we can tell them. But if you are quiet there, like my daughter who have reported this, now she has to come with the proof that this person have done this and that. And I heard that the MD was arrested because of that. And also I heard that he was released. We don't know anything about that. We have nothing. I don't know what happened in that side. But when it comes to her benefits, it is right if they don't want to pay her, and then we are going to ask them when the case comes to us.
Thank you very much, Honorable James Hothmai, the Minister of Labor. And up to this point in time, 19 minutes after 5 p.m., you are all listening to the Sundown program. Well, to join us on this very line of conversation, be able to reach us on 0911 986 986. You can also call on 0922 986 986, or you can drop us a text message on 0913 986 986, so that in case of a concern that you love to give to the Minister of Labor with me in the studio, then he will be able to make clarifications where necessary. And up to this point in time, I want to say, let us cross over to the next area that needs actually clarifications as well, and look at the concerns that was actually raised by some staff who work for the WS Inside Security Company. And they criticize the Ministry of Labor for what they say, giving foreign nationals upper hand than the locals. And this comes after your ministry actually did not reach the conclusion on the resolution of the case of the WS Insight, who have been dismissed for raising a complaint for the increment of the salaries. And of course, this was an issue of the staff who are 338 in number who demanded an increase or the increment in their salaries, the health insurance, and the annual leave days before the termination of their service. According to them, Honorable, they returned to work after the 2 weeks elapsed, so that was actually given to them, and they were told their contracts had ended and were asked to leave, and the company had allegedly found new recruits deployed in their places when they reported to work. And so in this case, some of them spoke to iRadio earlier, and let's hear their concerns. Then thereafter, we come back and have your clarifications right here on the Sundown Show.
The ministry and the company, they are doing one thing, because if you see the way we were terminated, that shows clearly that there is interest in this matter, because in the court of law, you cannot terminate someone when you have not brought the two parties together. So we were terminated and they did not listen to our own side of the story. That's one thing. Secondly, when the minister made the announcement that it's abnormal for a company to terminate this number, and if there are 2 or 3 people who have committed crimes, then this number cannot be terminated because of 3. We met him, and when we met him, first of all, he refused to talk to the number of the members that went to meet him, but he only called one person. So when he called one person out of the members of the committee, it was all a threat. So he requested that one should come to his office to listen. After, when a member of our committee went to his office, he threatened the person that he cannot be forced, he is a national minister, and he cannot be forced to solve this problem. And even if we take this thing to the labor court, we will not get anything, only that we will get the compensation. So we were surprised to hear a constitutional force order giving a prophecy of what has not yet happened. And yet he was even blaming us that we overstayed. That is why we are becoming stubborn, and we are the cause of this. Yet he was not served with the evidences of the crimes that we actually committed. Another thing I also want to bring to the attention of the public there is that we, the citizens of this country, and especially the guards of WS inside, we have lost hope in the ministry, because this is not the first time. Every time we go there looking for our rights, it tends to be something else. We are always being threatened by the security forces. Even we, the committee, we are always receiving calls from nowhere telling us to move away from this issue. So that's why we have come to bring to the attention of the public today that those ones that we trusted to give us services, they have turned their backs on us, and they have given the foreigners upper hand.
أنا بس عايز أتكلم في حاجة بسيط على الوزارة بتاعنا بتاع ليبا. في الوزارة إحنا شايفين إنه ما عندنا وزارة، للسبب إنه المشكلاتنا حسي بيجا 3 شهر لحين ما في أي زول بيشوف إنه مشكلة دي خليه يشوف حل بتاعه. وإضافي على ده كان المشكلة الأول كان 353، حتى بيجا زاد حاليا حسي زاد فيه 11 ناس المنتجاه بتاع تومبينج. يبقى إنه الوزارة ما قاعد يشتغل في الشغل اللي إحنا عايزين، هم قاعدين يلعبوا بعين إحنا. وإذا بقى زي ده هنا بيقولوا يعني إحنا ما عندنا وزارة نهائي. فأنا ما عنده كتير عشان أتكلم، بس عايز أتكلم لجماعة برا هنا، إنتوا حاول تتكلم كتير، لأنه كل ما هنا قاعدين نتكلم في حاجات زي ده في ناس جزء مننا بيشوف إنه كاب هيدقل فوقه.
And those were the voices of some employees working for the WS Insight earlier on, and they got their contracts terminated because they raised concerns for the increment of the salaries. Among other allowances is actually demanded. And in that case, Honorable James Hothmai, you are the Minister of Labor. Are you also saying that you are not aware of this, or this has not been reported to your ministry?
Thank you very much, and I think I don't know what to call it. It's unfortunate, and You know, the people who have just spoken. Yes, they came to my office, and I told them I need one because I'm not an investigator. All right? I'm not an investigator. When this case happened, I was outside, but I said, yes, it is true. It is abnormal. You cannot terminate almost more than 300. So let us deal with the people who have caused this problem. But what happened? What I want to bring to our notice our people. Private sector is a private sector. It's not like public sector. I'm a businessman today. I will employ people. My objective is to have profit. I employ people to bring me profit. They have to work. If they don't want to work, then there's no need for me to keep somebody because I need profit. This is number one, and our people should know this. The second, the WF inside, there is a lot of history that we heard from them. We are not a ministry, we are bored, and sometimes through iRadio here, somebody say Tongalweg, or what do you call it? I think he maybe is listening. All right, calling me that if I'm bored, let me eat my money silently. All right, this is their opinion, of course, and it is too early for us, or it is too much for us to be compromised because of somebody inside. But what happened? They quarrel with their administration, and the UN that gave contract to EW inside protested because I think these people, according to them, they misbehave and they have beaten some people there. So when I came, we opened case again, and we are actually investigating.
From Juba, on air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, this is iRadio Evening News. First, here are the headlines. The Parliament Specialized Committee on Finance and Planning has
we listen to the other side. All right? We call them, we call the WF inside, and three of us sit as tripartite, and we're trying to resolve the issue. Now we have been, I think there is a sitting tomorrow. They are being called. They were supposed to sit yesterday. I think that meeting was adjourned, but I think they are sitting tomorrow. My undersecretary is with them, so that we come and listen to them. Because also WF inside include the UN. UNMISS, they have also their side of history, and WF inside they have their own side of history, and the employees, they have their side of history. So we welcome all of us together, and even we are inviting iRadio to be part of it, so that the iRadio report whatever we will discuss. Our people, now they want us, because you have a problem, you have created a problem, or somebody created a problem to you, and you want us to come and say it because you are a national, and one day we must do this. It is a process, and we have been telling them, you have to wait. Let us trying to see facts. If you have right, there is no problem. The law will give you a right. But if you don't have right, okay, what do you think that we will do? Now, today, if any company decided to close down because they don't have any money, the government will not force that company because we have South Sudanese who are working there that you work. No. Let them, I told them, you give us time. We are resolving this issue. And we will see who is mistaken and who is not mistaken. And the UN is also involved because they say, these people, we will not work with them. We don't want to work with them. Why is not happening to other areas is only in UNMISS here? Because there is a problem. And we have to repeat that facts. So whatever name they call us, yes, the ministry is there. The ministry is not working for WA inside workers. No. It's not only for WA inside workers. No. It is a national ministry. We are dealing with so big issues, even more than this one. So they should not abuse us.
Thank you very much.
So let them give time for us to resolve the issue. It's not one-day event.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. And to all our dear listeners who are getting us on this very line of conversation on the Sundown program, I want to say we are hosting the Minister of Labor and in the presence of Honorable James Hothmai. And to all those who are streaming us live on Facebook, I want to say you're also most welcome as we carry on. And to say your own opinions or concerns over these all issues we have tackled, over the issue of harassment, over the issue of the issue to do with the labor, so employees' concerns, be able to call us and say your own concern at this point in time. Good evening, iRadio.
Good evening, Mwajako.
Yes, good evening, Bianyideng.
Yeah, I am happy that the minister is in the serious, a senior minister in the country, who is the Minister of Labor. Actually, James Hothmai is a good person in South Sudan, and we know him. The way he's been handling his affairs as a citizen, and I myself regard him as a patriotic citizen who loves South Sudan and loves people of South Sudan. Since he was the General Chief of Staff, one of the serious conflicts after his throne of king, and he was managed to take his decisions and manage it in a way that so that he's a patriotic citizen. Now, and that's why he's today given that position as the Minister of Labor, because Minister of Labor, people say it is a simple ministry, but it's a serious ministry that have a lot of challenges to be tackled. Dealing with the affairs of the country and the citizens themselves, and it has nothing to do with employment, is a challenge as he is talking about, because people who are always not happy can regard you the way they think you are. Not because you are bad, but because they are not happy. So I want to tell Minister that we as a citizen, whatever the decision we are taking, you can think the way the country is going on, economic situations, the way we have been treating our country. I am frankly telling him that South Sudan is the only country in the world that the foreigner comes with empty-handed and he makes his companies employ us. That is here in South Sudan. Only in South Sudan in the world, where the foreigners are the managers of the international organizations and the citizens are the staff of that organization. Because they regard us, we lack skills technical skills and knowledge to run the affairs of organizations. And all these are happening in the ways of the government. And the government themselves are the ones supporting these people, telling that we are not capable as South Sudanese. And that's why when you tell your citizens are not capable, that's why we come back and tell you also in government you are not capable. So these ways things go like that. So as this is happening, it is true intimidation and harassment is happening to South Sudanese in all fields of work in South Sudan. And if he does not believe, he have to take it seriously and put in his mind that the citizen love his people and take research of it. He will find it out. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bien Deng, for being part of the Sundown. Good evening, iRadio. iRadio, good evening. Well, you still have the chance to share with us. Good evening, iRadio.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, James.
How are you?
I'm good. Welcome to the Sundown.
Yes, you are connected to the James Duor in the University of Juba.
Yes, James Duor.
I would like to briefly talk about this inside security company. And I heard Minister saying, not us alone to take side, or we defend South Sudanese because they are South Sudanese. Even the foreigners deserve their right to be given to them. Now, how is our labor act talk about the employment of people of South Sudan? Like, for example, these people, they have their customers, and these customers need to be reviewed by the labor office in the country. This case, I had been following it until later on I got problem in it, and I reached even Undersecretary of Ministry of Labor. That ministry, that Undersecretary, she's not telling the right thing to the people. Like, she's also always taking side of the company, not taking the
real case to be solved. Like, for example, this one took 7 years, consecutively 7 years, and this case never been solved. What I suggest to be done is this. Like, the company, yes, they are coming for business. The minister concerning with the labor in the country, what you would have do is this. You would have called the contract between the company and the client that they sign contract in, so that you compare. Is it eligible for these people to be given that money, or is it possible for the company to get higher than people whom it employed? So it seems that the things are imbalanced. And if we need to balance these things, we need to compare the contract signed by the company as well as the company that will be signed by the employees if you want the problem to be solved. This is one. Two, we also need the minister himself to listen to the people, because people are blocked. Like Undersecretary, I went 4 times to her. I meet her 4 times. But whatever she's telling me is not that matching with what we are complaining for. We are complaining for something little bit, but they fail to do it. But now, what should you do? What should you do as the Minister of Labor? Because you are there serving the people. You are not there for yourself, but you are there as our servant, as a civil population. That's why you see complaint raising like this number that they dismissed. Is it fair? You say it was not fair, but none of them being reinstated back as we speak. Because I'm getting some people here in the university complaining about this. I had been raising this until you respond to it by then telling them that you are going to be reinstated. None of them being reinstated as we speak now. As we are talking there, the company did not take any measure to reinstate these people. What should you do as a minister so that these people are reinstated back? Lastly, I should really say this, because the country belongs to all of us. If somebody like you is not eligible to listen to his citizens or even look to the laws, you need to resign, because people will hit you if you don't have possibility of doing that. People will hit you, but you might be thinking that what you are doing is not being listened from people above you. But if you see what you have been proposing is not being listened above you, then you need to resign so that you serve your legacy. So legacy in South Sudan is dying, to be honest to you, because I cannot hide things. Thank you.
Thank you very much, James Dewar, for being part of the Sundown at this point in time. And you're making the minister actually laugh. Thank you. And maybe one more concern from the public. There are also other concerns sent to us through our Facebook page that we'll be able to give to the minister. Good evening, iRadio.
Hi, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
أنا بتكلم بعربي. أنا اسمي
ودراب. إتبدوكم من وين؟
أنا جدوكم من تومتي.
مرحب توالي.
هاي اولا كده سيد الوزير يعرف اليونمس مثلا او اي شركه الفوق انسايد شغال بيدفع كم للشركه ده؟ هل هو بيعرف الجماعه دي بيدفع لهم كم؟ وثانيا اولاد بتاعتنا الطلبه مثلا وناس ثانيين عجايز بيساعد ناس بتاعتهم بشغل حقهم، يعني ترتبيه كسر نفس ناس دي to be dismissed. ايه حال ده قانون اللي هو بيقول. وحاجه نمره 3 درنا سال قبل كده مشكله كان الرئيس في انسايد ده وغيروا قروش فعلا بعمله صعبه، لكن قروش بتاع حكومه 4 سنه كان ما مدفوع، فحصل ليله هو واقف ما كمباني ده حسنوه طبعا كمباني جاي من برا وكده، وناس بتاعت يوم يطلع زي 300 وكسره من سمون وانت تمضي فوقه وكده. يا اخوانا دي معسره بتشنو في الدنيا ده. ها؟ القروش اللي كان بديك له انسان كبرايبري انت بتاكل القروش ده، لكن القروش ده بيكون فيه ابنه لاولادك ولاي شيء. انا بشوف كلام الحاصل ده فيها يعني مشاكل كثيره في طلبه وفي ناس، واي واحد جاري عشان يلقى شغل ده بعرقان بتاعته زي انت ذاتك كوزير انت جريت بسياسه عشان تقعد في مكتب بتاعتك، كان ما بديك ما هي بتاعتك بطريقه كويس. هل بكون شنو زول طالب زياده بتاعته؟ زياده ما بكون يعني ما بطال يعني عشان كلام بتاع زياده ده يوم بتردوا ناس بطريقه زي ده. انت كده اشرح لنا كلام ده بطريقه وجيز بطريقه كده كويس يا اخوانا.
طيب
عشان ده الشعب بتاع الجنوب.
طيب شكرا.
بشوف ده كمان ناس بتاع ذاته. kalam dar na gul yani.
شكرا ودرابا من تونغبينغ بمشاركتك يعني ممكن نحن بيمشي توالي لوزير موجود معنا في داخل الاستوديو سن بيودي clarifications for the concerns Altam raised. Bianyideng from WOW was actually trying to raise some concerns. Maybe Honorable, I will also request that you be very brief because we are moving towards the end of the program in a short while. You were saying some companies or the foreign companies particularly do not actually trust South Sudanese people in terms of the workforce simply because it is actually the government telling them that we do not have technical people in South Sudan, and that's why they come with their workforce in very senior positions in whatever companies that comes here into the country. What explanation can you provide, Honorable?
Thank you very much. It's not true. It's not true. Before I even answer this question, sometime back 3 months ago, we had a problem with the Stanbic Bank, and it was a big row in the whole country. And because that's why I want really people to listen very carefully. In Stanbic Bank, we have 47 employees. Out of 47, 3 Kenyans and 44 are South Sudanese. And then now, because we have 3 people who had a problem with management, and then people made a very big row there, the foreigners is occupy Stanbic Bank. Now can you equate 3 and 44? Because sometimes, yes, problem happen to these 3. And we don't want to compromise 43 because of problem of 3. All right? So what he's saying is not true. Foreigners come here. We have not prevented our local, our national to establish their own companies. It is a matter of capital. If you have capital, you register your company and then you hire people. All right? So the foreigners come with their capital, they establish, and they employ our people. In the Ministry of Labor, we are training people in vocational training, different trades. So we are providing even the workforce. All right, we are providing a workforce for anybody who want to recruit. Now,
yes.
let me come. It is really very important. One, the capital. If we have South Sudan, we have company also that are employing our people. 80%, and coming to James Dwar. James Dwar, before I resign, all right, there's no problem. My life is not connected with the ministry, all right? But let me tell you one thing. Now, the Labor Act said the employment is that 80% nationals and 20% may be other categories. But what happened with us, with this 80%? We actually stood it wrongly. Mean that 80%, for example, if the company is working in Yei, it means that 80% must come from Yei. And this is what happened in Torit. Torit, actually they made problem in Torit because they don't want anybody outside Torit. Even they don't want Asholi, they don't want Toposa. This is what we mean. No, the 80% is meant for all South Sudanese. For example, if you want nurses in Torit, if you don't have nurses from Latoka, you can bring anybody from Raja, from where, because after all, we want to serve our people. But our people, they don't take it that way. Up to now, the labor is working to make sure that 80% of our employment is South Sudanese, and they are. All right? But in management there, yes, we have a problem, but it's also gradual. All right? Somebody comes with his money. All right? You cannot come and throw him that, let me manage your company. All right? Today, it is a gradual. We are going actually to go there. But our people, they want a shortcut. All right? We are working toward that. And the case of this double inside, not 7 years. We have recently the case of 383. they created, whether it is created to them or they created themselves, and we are working on it. As I said, it is not is not an event. It is a process that need actually a lot of investigation so that we give them their right. And our people should understand that. They should not abuse us. It is, I'm too big for me to be brave because I want to mistreat my people. No. And it's something that I will never do. I did not do it, and I will never do it. So I want to tell our people, you don't just reach to conclusion that these people that are bored, we are giving money. No, it's not.
Wadra from Tongping wanted to find out, when you were actually investigating to talk about this recent one of the WS Insight, did you try to check the contract between the company and the company's client where these employees actually work so that you can actually verify your investigations from?
And this is one of our problems. We have been actually advising our urban employees that whenever you are being employed, you must make sure that the contract is signed. All right? The contract is signed. Yes, we saw the contract because it is a bulk contract, but we have been saying individual must sign a contract. Sometimes they don't. They don't sign. And we used to tell them that when you sign, that contract is a legal document that will protect you from anything, all right? But, of course, the contract is there. Their claim, of course, they have right there. They are overworked because, according to the labor law, each person is supposed to work 8 hours a day. Any extra, and then it's overtime, and they have to be paid. That is their right. They have to have also their holidays. It is also provided by law. If you don't go, and then the company have to pay you the number of your holidays, they have to pay, all right? They are there in the law. There is no problem on that. What I want to say, people should be patient because this is resolving investigation, all right? Investigation. And we have to talk to them, we have to talk to these people, and tomorrow we are going to see 3 of us tripartite: the worker, the employer, and the government. We are going to sit and see this case. And then we will tell each person where he has gone wrong and where is right. And
so you are judging tomorrow?
Yeah, we will, yes. We are calling them, and we have invited actually Rai Radio to be there so that you listen.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Honorable. Let us check some concerns through our Facebook page. Somebody called Kelvin Kuju saying our parliament needs to harmonize national labor laws with international labor standards. They are essential to the protection of basic workers' rights, and the labor ministry alone cannot actually do it. This is just a comment. And somebody saying Mangar Soni, and he's saying the sexual harassments are happening at workplaces because there is no strong labor laws in the country. Not that alone, even there is discrimination at working places where foreigners pay their foreign workers with good money, neglecting the citizens. He's saying that we are actually like sheep without a shepherd. So what can you say of this, Honorable?
Yes, I think the laws are there. What we want to advise people, whenever that thing happens, you have to report it. If you don't report, and then what do you think that people will do? You have to report. We have actually our laws, labor laws, actually are aligned to international law. There is no problem. Sexual harassment, any kind of harassment in the workplace, the law is there, but you need to report that law. When it comes to wages, yes, I would agree with them. Now we are working on minimal wage because in the country we don't have minimal wage. So we are working on it so that we harmonize, and we don't want foreigners to pay high and our people are. We are working on it. Also, it is a process. We are working on it, and almost we are in last stage, and we are going actually to consult anybody. We may come to you here and trying to engage our people so that also we do. It is not our work alone.
All right.
Yeah, we are working on those minimal wages.
Another person called Anei Motaon, and he's saying he should, you actually should to address why they are paying heavy taxes without any development being made at all. He's asking what is the need for this sector to raise 20% taxes when in actual sense there is no vital development at all.
Yes, it's okay. It's all right, and we have protested on behalf of workers. Leave alone the private sector, even the public sector. We have raised this, and we presented into cabinet that 20% is high, and our people are receiving less. So it's being considered. I think it's going to be lower down.
So when will that be?
Maybe with the new budget. Yes, we have protested actually. That 20% it is high.
All right. Okay. Another one called Chuola THR, and he's saying this powerful ministry is actually paralyzed by bribery and intimidation, since there is no fair recruitment from the international organizations and companies within the country. What can you say? You may not be actually allergic to this bribery, but maybe the ministry itself, not you as the minister.
It is not true. We are not. The laws are there. Everything is a process. Now we are, according to the labor law, we are actually commissioning employment agents now. They are not yet fully operational, so that they do the recruitment themselves. If anybody, whether in NGOs or with any company, one human resource, they will contact these employment agents so that they recruit for them. Before, yes, it was a problem, but also I want to tell our people everything is a process. For you to correct things, need some time. There is nothing wrong with the ministry. We are actually resolving so many issues, and we have a very big file. People come and we give them their right. There's so many of them. But our problem now, when somebody have only one person, has become a big issue. They don't come to the IRADIA when we resolve their issues, but when you don't, and they come to you here. But we are resolving so many issues. It's not this inside the door.
All right. Somebody called Isaac Wako is saying, please, this ministry, what do you actually mean? Because he's actually following this program now. He's asking us, actually trying to find out, what do you mean by saying you have big issues than the ones of WS inside? Does it mean because it is small, it should not be resolved? Or why did they rush to approve a termination before listening to both parties? Why did you rush to approve the termination?
I think as I said, yes, I said it is abnormal for somebody to terminate 380 something. And as I said, we are on the process. We are talking. That one involved the UN, United Nations, because they say they were harassed, the UN, and now they want to share them away the W inside. That if you continue having these people, we don't want you here. We are going to terminate your contract with us. And we said, no, let us investigate. So we are investigating. I said, yes, our problem not W inside alone. We have so many problems that we have resolved. All right? And this is what I want to say. Now, the second one, I want to advise our people that, please, this is where you work. I want you to be disciplined, to work there, to work disciplined. If you have any problem, the law provides for you to congregate, to have actually association that will speak on behalf of you. If you have any problem, don't use force. Don't use any mean of violence. Present your case, and then the law will give you a right.
All right. Honorable, before we wind up in a short while, somebody called Lokang Joseph Tombe, and he's saying that most of the companies in South Sudan, they do not actually offer contract to the staff. And when you ask for the contract, then you will be terminated. What's actually your thoughts on the matter? There are a couple of questions he raised, but some of them have already been answered. So this has not been actually tackled. What can you say about this?
It's what we have been advising them. When you are signing a contract, make sure that the contract is signed. If that one is refusing, please report it to us. That this one is refusing me to sign the contract.
All right, thank you very much. Before we wind up now, Fukeni Christopher Oja from Nigeria, and he's saying if your ministry could not do the needful and fight for the right of the already dismissed WS inside guards, it would be a good move. Let him not accept bribe, but may rather stand in favor of the already dismissed WS inside guards. Thank you very much. I think the minister has mentioned all this in his explanations, and he has talked about the question of bribery that is not involved, and his ministry is not involved in any bribery. Well, Honorable, we are winding up this very line of conversation, and maybe you can say your last remarks now to the people of South Sudan.
Yeah, thank you very much. And for us to get jobs, we don't fight to do these small jobs. One, we need to maintain security in our country so that we invite investors to come and invest in our country. And then it will take a lot of many people. Now, because of war, people are not coming here. So we need to maintain this, because whatever little job we are getting, there's a lot of competition. This is number one. Number two, problem is part of human life, and it's there always. Whenever there is a problem, please trying to avoid any sort of violence, any sort of abuse. Present your case, the law will be with you. There is no problem. Now we are working, we don't have anything. Our work is to serve our people. Nothing else in this ministry. There is nothing. We are not working for ourselves. We are working for everybody, right? All right? So what I need is only please trying to raise your case peacefully, not through violence. Because if I'm a businessman and you threaten me, I will not work with you. This is my company. I will not work with you, and I will actually, if I provide evidence, and then the government will not force me to work with you if you are not actually doing my work. So I want actually to behave well. You know, one time, I think this is good. Now we are winding up.
Yes.
One time there is a very big businessman, very rich, and every evening people will go to him. When they go to him, and then they will discuss, and then in the evening he will provide some envelope and what, and they go. Because he's providing with some money. One time, he told them that, you see, this year, abnormal things happened to my farm. What happened? You know, my farm, really, the harvest is more than too much. And even the harvester broken because the sorghum or whatever is too much. And when it is, actually, when we harvest and it is packed in bags, a human being cannot lift the bag into the car. They said, yes, you are right, boss. And then he said, it's only rat. It's more rat who came and then came and load everything on the car. They told him now, Janava, you are right. Now because they don't want to tell him that this is a lie. Because if you tell him, then he's going to stop whatever you want. You can see, if I'm working, if I have a company, what I want to underline, I want you to come and work in my company. It is actually two-side gain. I want profit, and you have your money. If you are not doing anything to me, you are not actually working the way I want it, I will tell you that you are not working well, and then I can dismiss you, because it is also forbidden in the law. If you are not performing well, and then you are dismissed. What I want to say, South Sudanese, yes, we are having problem. We are going through a very, very big situation, whether in climate change, whether in war, whether in peace. We are having problem. Our economy is ailing, but I want to tell them, this is our country. We have to work together. We have to support the government to implement this peace so that we have peace and then we have development. We are actually providing skill development in our vocational training, whether it is government or private. So many of them, maybe more than 10,000. And we will be testified by those who are opening saloon and bakery, mechanics, and plumbers. All right? So
Thank
that
you.
they get, but I want them to keep hope. Let us keep our hope that this country is going to be also a great country again.
Inshallah. Thank you very much, Honorable James Rotmai, the Minister of Labour, for joining us this evening. And to all our dear listeners, thank you very much. All those who are streaming us live through our Facebook page, thank you very much for being part of the Sundown. And we'll link up again tomorrow for more latest information on what's happening in South Sudan. My name is Moyo Jacob Felix, and up next, Score Sheet with my colleagues Deng and Peter, among others, joining us right here from 6 p.m. Stay there with us.